Hello and welcome to my Tarot Corner, and thank you to each and every one of you who decides to come back. It is not taken for granted, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. And before I start talking about today's reading, I just wanted to share something that I found out today that really excited me, and that is for the fashion lovers among you. Dior house created a whole how is it called? A whole selection, but not selection, a whole collection that is inspired by tarot cards. And the actual tarot cards that it's inspired by is the Visconti Sforza tarot cards. Now, the Visconti Sforza tarot cards are the first one that were ever created in the early 1400s, and they were created as card games. And before they were even called tarot cards, and their ability to be able to share stories or to narrate a story or to help people understand things about themselves, about the future, was discovered later on. And then other cards like the Marseille were done, but the Visconti Sforza, I probably will show you them in the near future, are very unique, and they are really beautiful, the major arcanas. I don't use them for two reasons. The first reason is that they are peep decks. I mean, that means that the minor arcanas are not illustrated, and I don't really, I'm not an enthusiastic of peep decks. And the second reason is because the cards are huge, really, really huge. So I did order a smaller version of the Visconti Sforza cards, and when I do get it, I will do a reading with them, although it is in a smaller, although they are peep deck, it is a peep deck, but I'll do a reading just to show you the cards. But these cards are really beautiful, very, very unique, and Dior just took the inspiration from these cards and created a whole collection of dresses and outfits out of that. And they also created a beautiful, beautiful well, it's a commercial or movie that shows that. And I will link the Facebook page in which that video can be seen in the description below. So that is just one thing that is not connected to today's reading. So what is this reading about? And this is about Omid Scobie. And I will not say that he was thrown under the bus, as many people do say. I will say that he's been shelved, as A.G. Tudor calls it. And A.G. Tudor actually describes it very well, because A.G. Tudor says that every person in the narcissist life is there for a reason, which is to satisfy the narcissist's needs. And when he or she are fulfilling those needs, then the narcissist will do whatever she can in order to make that continue. But when they are not needed any longer, or not needed for now, they can be either shelved or disposed of. So when they are disposed of, then the narcissist is completely throwing them away, completely shutting them out, and that person might be feeling completely down and lonely and terrible, but he should be counting his blessings for that. But being shelved by a narcissist is even worse, because then you are never freed from the narcissist. But whenever you are needed, you are called back. So Omid Scobie is one of the people that Meghan Markle is shelving and deshelving. Whenever she needs him, she uses him. Whenever she doesn't need him, she is shelving him. And he doesn't really see that. He is allowing her to use him. And he actually, let's say, I don't know how he started, but I suppose he did not start as her lapdog, as A.G. Tudor called him, but he started as an aspiring royal commentator or royal reporter. He thought that he struck gold by his connection with her, and he became too close. He became too close. He then thought that he struck gold by having that connection even stronger when Meghan and Harry agreed to let him write Funding Freedom or Funding Freebies, and but actually they, or at least Meghan, was really using him for her own advantage. And once they didn't need him anymore, or she didn't need him any longer, he was thrown under the bus, or he was shelved many times. And it's amazing to see how she's dishelving him every time, and he is taking the bait every time, over and over again. He never learns the lesson. And this time it was in Harry's book, when Harry doesn't name him, but he actually says that this bestseller book, which is an overreach, but okay, this bestseller book wrote a complete nonsense description of how Meghan was prepared for a possible terrorist attack or possible kidnapping, something that Harry claims never happened. So he is just completely contradicting whatever Omid Scobie wrote, and his co-writer Caroline Durand is just nowhere to be seen. I think that she's so ashamed of ever being teamed up with Omid Scobie that she doesn't want to be seen ever again in the public arena. So anyway, so it must be very frustrating to be Omid Scobie. So let's do a Celtic cross and see, how does Omid Scobie feel? Does he even understand that he is a victim of a narcissist, or does he still feel that he is there helping her, and when she needs him, she calls him because she loves him, because she really needs his help, that he is really there to help her because how do you say that? Because she values him so much. So I'm using the ARCANUM tarot deck. This is one of a trio of tarot decks. It starts with the Thelma tarot, and this is the second in the trio, and the third one is the Millennium Thoth, which I don't have. I have the Thelma tarot, I have the ARCANUM tarot, I don't have the Millennial Thoth. Actually, I don't use the Thoths very much, and I have other Thoth-based tarot decks that I don't use that much, so I don't feel the need to get the Millennial Thoth as well, but maybe I'm wrong. But the ARCANUM and the Thelma tarot are very beautiful tarot decks. So this is, and I got both of them from that same Ukrainian seller that I told you about, and these are completely in English. Okay, so before I start, please take a few moments to read my full disclaimer in the description box. This is a tarot reading. It is vibrational. It is open to interpretation. It exists as assumptions and speculation, and as such may or may not be true. So please do your own research and decide for yourselves. Okay, so let's clear the deck. Just one more. Okay, so Omid Scobie, how does he feel being a victim of a narcissist? Does he understand that he is being shelved by Meghan whenever she doesn't need him any longer? Does he realize that whenever he is not needed, he is being thrown under the bus? How does it feel when Harry is completely contradicting him and saying that what he said was, what he wrote was a fantasy? How does it feel for Omid Scobie to be a victim of a narcissist? Is Omid Scobie aware that he's a victim of a narcissist? How does he feel as being shelved by Meghan, as being thrown under the bus by Meghan every time she doesn't need him any longer? Okay, so let's cut the deck. So the first card is Omid Scobie right now, his current situation, the way he feels right now. And we are seeing a person that is completely oblivious to his situation. He is in the Nine of Cups position. So he's completely oblivious. He doesn't understand. He doesn't realize that he is being a tool in Meghan's hands. He doesn't realize that the Nine of Cups is a person that feels that his wishes are coming true. So he feels that it seems like Meghan is giving him enough whatever kind of fuel that she's giving him, or whatever kind of pats on the back, she's giving him some kind of reassurance that what he's doing is important, that whatever Harry has done is part of a bigger plan, but they had to do that. But he's completely oblivious. He doesn't realize that he is being thrown under the bus. This is the only explanation for this card. This card is a person that feels that everything has come through. He feels that he's successful. He feels that he's winning. He feels that every one of his wishes has come true. His books are being successful. He's writing a new book. He's sure that this book is going to be successful. He's sure that he's very important. He feels important. So whatever Meghan is saying to him, it's enough to make him feel important. So right now he is completely oblivious to what Harry has done and how it shows or the face that it makes, or the way that it makes him being seen by the world. He doesn't see that. It's like a person that just doesn't see half of the world. He only sees the half that he wants to see. It's like a person that only sees the things that he the good side, or a person that is wearing this kind of pink glasses and only sees pink things. This is how I can see that. So he doesn't see reality. He's completely oblivious to reality. He doesn't see reality as it is. This is the only way I can interpret this card. Okay, so what is blocking him? And the card that I'm getting is the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles is a card of someone who is in a way in a place of destruction and failure that comes because of being in the Four of Pentacles energy. Now, the Four of Pentacles energy is feeling threatened. And because you're feeling threatened, you are adhering to the things that you know, to the things that you have. Usually the threat is not real, but since you feel threatened, you are adhering to the things that you have. And this causes the Five of Pentacles feeling of being of destruction and failure that is because of that way of dealing with being threatened and adhering to what you know. Now, when it comes in the second place of the Celtic cross, when it comes in the things that are distressing him or the things that are obstructing him, we see a person that is afraid of loss and poverty. And these fears are obstructing his ability to see reality. He is self-destructive. He's afraid of failure. He's afraid of financial problems. And actually, we do know that he has financial problems, but he's afraid to deal with those financial problems. So it's a lot easier to just be in this Nine of Cups energy and to feel that every one of your wishes is coming true, and to close your eyes to reality and to the real problems that you have. These are the real problems. He has financial problems. We know that he has financial problems. He doesn't want to deal with them. It's a person that is unable to get out of past mistake. It's a person that is actually in a very desperate position, a person that is very much afraid of himself, afraid of poverty, afraid of failure. And because of that, it's very difficult for him to see reality, to deal with reality. And he believes that staying with Meghan and Harry is the only chance of redeeming himself and not getting into more financial troubles. Okay, next card is what are the things that he's been doing that he needs to let go of, or what are the things that he needs to let go of, and we get the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man, it's a spiritual card. It is a major arcana. And the Hanged Man, it's the feeling of being sacrificial. It's a person that is in between. It's a person that feels that he is sacrificing himself. But it's also a person that needs to change his point of view. Now, Omid, because it's something that he needs to let go of, we need to look at the negative aspects of this card. So it shows that he feels that he is sacrificing himself for the better good of Meghan. He's sacrificing himself for Harry and Meghan. He is showing that how loyal he is by sacrificing himself this way. But it also shows how stuck he is, how unable he is to go forward. And as long as he is stuck in that position, in that in-between position where he is nowhere, he's hanging, he's nowhere, he doesn't have a solid ground under his feet. He doesn't have nothing, he has nothing solid to hang on to. As long as he's in that position, and as long as he's refusing and he's stubborn and he's refusing to change his point of view and to look at things from another perspective, he won't be able to move forward. So this is what is not serving him. The fact that he feels that it feels good to him, for him, he feels good that he's sacrificing himself, that he is giving for the greater goal of Harry and Meghan. I don't think that he really knows what their greater goal is, but he doesn't have the energy to change and to go forward. He doesn't have the energy to get off this sacrificial tree that he's on. He doesn't have the energy to change his perspective, to change the way that he is. This is very difficult for him. So he needs to let go of this way of behaving that is not serving him. This is something he needs to let go of, but it's very difficult for someone to let go of something like that and to move on, especially since it's a major arcana. So it's not something that is going down to the surface. It's not something that is grounded. So it's a lot difficult. It's a lot more difficult to let go of. Okay, what is opening for Omid Scobie, or what does he need to do? Which is, what does he need to do more of? And what we're getting here is the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is a tricky card because the Five of Cups is a card of despair, but it is an unjustified despair. So this is a card that tells Omid Scobie, well, maybe you feel desperate right now. Maybe you feel that you have no other choices, but you need to look at the fuller half of your cup. Not at the 3 cups that have spilled, but at the 2 cups that are still standing. You need to look at the things that you still have. You need to look at your abilities, at your, well, let's say, if you have any other ways of making money, well, I don't know, I never read anything that he writes, but maybe he does have a writing talent, so maybe that is something that he can start building upon. But this is about looking at the things that he does have, looking at the things that he can build upon, and looking at the 2 cups that he cannot see because it's behind him, because it's above him, looking at those things. So picking up his head up and looking at those things that are still there and trying to rebuild his life when he is building them on these foundations and not crying on the 3 cups that have spilled. So he's right now in this, in this space where he feels that everything is great, but he knows deep down inside that no, nothing is really great, because this is what is blocking him. So this is like a card of someone who is, maybe on drugs. Wait a minute. Rosie wants to come in. Just one moment. Well, in a few moments, she probably would want me to let her out again. So once again, so how does these cards go together? So he's living in this la-la land of feeling or telling himself that he's happy, that he has everything that he wants. But actually he doesn't. And he knows that deep inside, he knows that because this is what is blocking him. And this is what is coming into his life. the feeling of despair. This is how he might feel in the near future. This is something that might come to him in the near future. And the way to deal with it is not to look at the 3 cups that are spilled, but to look at the 2 cups that he still has. So right now he's not in this energy yet. He's still deluded. He's still deluding himself. But once the 5 of Pentacles hits him bad, then the 5 of Cups will go into motion and he will start feeling the desperation. Okay, so the next card are the things that he hasn't recognized, or the subconscious things that are controlling him. And what we're getting here is the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles, that is the person that can control the material world. This is the person that has a very good and independent career. So this could be his wish to become the King of Pentacles, to be someone who is independent, independent in career-wise, money-wise, business-wise, someone who is ambitious, someone who knows how to work, someone who knows how to, someone who is in the top, someone who can be in the top. So this is his innermost wish. This could also be someone who is controlling him, someone like Marcus Anderson that we know that used to be a lover or a very good friend of his. That could be someone who's controlling him, and he's not even he's not even conscious of that. So this is in the subconscious. What can we see as things that he's beginning to understand? So things that are starting to get into his conscious mind, and we're getting the Lover's card. And the Lover's card is all about being able to realize that there are things in his life that he needs to let go of, things that he needs to cut out, things that are not helping him in his life's pathway, and he will have to let them go. So this is about looking at his life pathway, looking at the things that are redundant from his life's pathway and cutting them out. This is about being total, being completely total, and seeing the things that are not helping him and being able to cut them out. So this is something that he's starting to understand little by little. And once the 5 of Cups energy will set in, it will be even more clear to him that he needs to cut out things that are not helping him, i.e. the Harkles. And he will start to realize that he needs to let go of the Hangman energy that has been ruling his life for a long time. So he will need to realize that he needs to look reality in the eyes. He will need to understand that he's not as happy as he tries to make people believe. So this is the card that is starting to get into his. This is the realization that starts to get into his consciousness. Okay, next card is, let me take that away. And the next card is what his outdated thinking brings. And what I'm getting here is the Queen of Swords. So that's interesting because the Queen of Swords is the woman or the queen that Meghan wants to be seen as. This is the one who has social responsibility, the one who is sacrificing herself for the greater good, someone who thinks about other people, someone who thinks about climate change, someone who will sacrifice everything, even relationships for the greater good. And this is also air energy, and air energy is communication. It's about talking. It's about writing also. So, but this is the outdated thinking that brings Omid Scobie to think that he still sees Meghan as someone who reflects the Queen of Swords. She's not, and we all know that she's not. But he still sees her as this very this amazing woman who is sacrificing herself for the greater good, who thinks about everyone, who is thinking about how to help the greater good, how to help the needy, how to help everyone. He will keep on singing her praises. This is what his outdated thinking brings him. So this is what it causes. He still believes that Meghan is representing the Queen of Swords. Okay, what do his family and friends think, or what are they trying to tell him? And we get the Four of Wands, which is actually a card that is a great card. It's a good card. It's a card of embarking on a voyage to realize your potential and to get a victory, but enjoying the road. So his family and his friends are trying to tell him that getting his victory and getting what he wants in life doesn't mean that he needs to suffer. He doesn't need to be sacrificial. He doesn't need to be in a desperate situation. He can enjoy what he's doing. He can enjoy the road. This is what the people around him are trying to say to him. This is what they're trying to tell him. You can go out and realize your potential. You have a potential. You can get things realized. You can. So that's the wisdom that his family and his friends are trying to offer to him. This is what they're trying to tell him. You don't have to sacrifice yourself. You don't have to be in this Five of Cups desperate situation. You can get you have a potential, you can get your potential realized, you can get a victory, but it doesn't have to be in connection with that couple, and you can enjoy what you're doing. You can enjoy the road, but you just need to stop being that sacrificial person who let them put you on the shelf whenever you are not bringing them any kind of benefit. Okay, next card is what kind of action does Omid Scobie need to take in order to get loose of Harry and Meghan? And what we're getting here is the Emperor. And the Emperor is the card that goes very well with the King of Pentacles. So this is a card of a very authoritative person, someone who is controlling the material world. This could actually be the king. Can actually be calling Omid Scobie to go back to being a royal reporter, being a real royal reporter, not a Sussex reporter. If he does want to continue on that road, I don't know if that door is still open for him. But this is about a person, maybe a father or someone that can help him in that aspect, but this can also be about going back to what he started. He started as someone who wanted to become a royal reporter. He bet on the wrong horse, so now maybe he needs to take a few steps backwards and make a U-turn where he needs to make the U-turn and then go on back on the right track. So if he does do that, what will be the result? That is the result of that action. If it doesn't do that, then the result will be different. But this is, מה את רוצה חמודה? מה, את רוצה לצאת עכשיו? Now she wants to go out again. That's how she is. She's coming in, she's taking some food, asking for some snacks, and then goes out again. Okay, so only if he does take this route of going back to reporting on the royal family, on the real royal family, and not the Sussexes, on doing that U-turn, on going back to the right track, only then what will be the result. And what I'm getting here is the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is a card of the artist and someone who can become, someone who can, be the artist, someone who can be a successful artist. So if he wants to be the writer or something like that, he can. But it also shows that if he does do that, he will need some kind of mental health treatment, because he will realize how damaged he is. He will realize that he was under a let's say, a narcissist control for a long time, and getting freed from that is not easy. And if he does get freed from that, if he is able to find this very authoritative person that will help him get freed from that, then he will need quite a lot of mental health therapy to go on. So this card has a good side and a bad side. The good side is that he will be able to continue with his artistic sides, but the more difficult side of it is that he will need a lot of mental health treatment. So this is the Omid Scobie spread, and it is kind of many cups here, but we have cups, we have pentacles, swords, wands, so it's major arcanas. It's okay, it's balanced. Okay, so this is the tarot, and the oracle deck is the ANGELARIUM oracle deck. In my pursuit for dark oracles, I keep on looking for darker oracles, just not only to use the broken mirror one, but most of them are still oracles that give advice in order to move forward, which is something that I can understand, because this is what oracles are there for. So let's see, what does the oracle tell Omid Scobie? So let's clear the deck. Omid Scobie being shelved again by Meghan Markle. Omid Scobie being shelved again by Meghan Markle. Card that I'm getting is DEWTAROT, heart, beauty. DEWTAROT is one of the tree of life orbs, and it means glory in Hebrew, and it is about heart and beauty, what it means here. But let's see what does the oracle say about it. So it's the sixth emanation, the temperate force, that allows the rest of the dimensions to coexist in beautiful harmony. DEWTAROT is without extreme or absolute, as each other aspect rages around him. He neither yields nor resists. He is the equilibrium that exists between those forces. He is guiding hand that braces against the many aspects of the tree to gracefully bring them towards one another. So there's a yellow orb here that he's holding, and it brings balance to the universe. Okay, so this is found in art and in health, in community. So this goes with the artistic part of Omid Scobie. So DEWTAROT actually mirrors the structure of the tree of life, existing as a microcosmos of the whole. And it is a balancing act, a careful balancing act, incorporating extreme opposites. So this is about extreme opposites that coexist within Omid Scobie, something that is very difficult for him to realize, and it's not something that is easy for any person that has these extremes. So he needs to understand that in order to find balance, he needs to incorporate the extreme opposites that coexist within himself. So this is it for this reading. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.